run that shit up.
Everybody, welcome back to the Cincy Strikes podcast. We are now on to episode 16. We're going to title this one In the Race because we're in the playoff race. Trey Hendrickson's in the sack leader race. And, of course, our boy Ted Karras is in the Walter Peyton Man of the Year race. And last we checked, he was third place. But Twitter's been blowing up. Twitter's been blowing up after that. Standings been coming out. So I expect him to be number one. I think the ceremony's this Saturday at halftime. I think I don't know when the winner's announced, but I know
that's announced at the awards night, the awards ceremony.
What we got an email saying something about Saturday at halftime, like Walter Payton.
Maybe they were gonna honor him, say this is our representative. I mean, I don't know why they do that at halftime when the man needs to be in the locker room, maybe prepping it for losing or something. But
yeah, I don't know how they're doing that.
I mean, it is a big deal. I mean, he does deserve that recognition in front of the fans, though. So maybe they're just kind of trying to get the crowd involved and show that. There's only a couple weeks left of voting. So,
did they do that last year for whoever it was? Do you remember?
I don't know.
I just feel like I don't.
Well, Sam Hubbard last year, wasn't
it? Yeah, it was Hubbard.
Did they do anything at some point? I'm just trying to think. I don't remember them. I mean, but I also don't go to games, and it's halftime. They don't film halftime, so.
I don't know.
That's why.
Yeah, I can't remember. It's all hard for me to remember, like the halftime stuff.
Yeah, because
you guys are probably getting food,
drink.
Yeah. Or we're on our Twitter trying to figure out stuff on there. Sometimes there's injuries where you got to fill up on it. And
get some updates.
We do update, we do go around the NFL, seeing what stats and scores are happening in the other NFL games.
Fantasy squad?
Yeah, fantasy squads never look good. I swear. Anytime
You're always scared to check it.
I've never had a good week where I went. The Bengals, my fantasy team only does good when the Bengals are away. And that's so, I swear.
Just whenever you're at the stadium looking at your fantasy score, you're always getting your butt kicked.
I always have to put my phone back in my pocket.
Just disappointed.
I cared the first 3 weeks about fantasy when I was at the game. No, I just stopped caring. I kept on losing. Nothing I could do.
This year started off so rough in all my fantasy league. Well, I started off 4-0 in one league. I'm ending the season with only 5 wins. It was Justin Jefferson went down, and then that was it for my team.
Well, if you're one of the few guys who has a quarterback left, good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, last week in my playoff game, I had Justin Herbert and C.J. Stroud, a combination of 4 points.
I had that early in the season, too, with Burrow and somebody else.
Yeah, Colton's had a QB carousel this year.
Yeah, me and Gary went over it the other night. I think I had 9 total QBs start for me total this year. Oh it's a super flex, so you can start 2.
He had literally the worst injury.
It was Burrow, Deshaun Watson, Ritter, Heineke, just all a bunch of
Boyle.
Yeah, I even had Tim Boyle start for 2 weeks.
I remember when you started Tim Boyle. You're like, should I start Tim Boyle?
And we were like, dude, what?
I didn't answer you.
I had so many running backs for me.
I don't think anybody answered that one. If you should,
I told him. I said it's like.
I texted him separately because it was a big decision for our league, but
yeah, I mean it didn't matter because the man got Flacco.
Flacco balled for me.
On to that Colts game. Get off of fantasy; it hurts my feelings.
Big win.
I said it on the way to the stadium to Eric in the car. I said I don't see a version of this game where we lose. I said it. And it happened. We didn't lose. I wasn't expecting this domino of a performance from the defense as it happened. I mean, the defense only gave up 7 points.
Yeah.
There's 14 points for the Colts, but Jake Browning threw a pick six.
Yep.
So, I mean.
Very lucky pick six, too.
Yeah, it was a weird play with Tanner Hudson.
Plus, he just held it up for him, and he's like, thank you.
They gave it to him.
So, yeah, I mean.
Unfortunately, those things happen, but we came out firing second half, scored a touchdown right off rip. And Jake Browning had another good game where you start to think, can he do it for the rest of the year? Can he carry us, to the playoffs and maybe get a playoff win? I don't know. Again, the key to being a successful quarterback is being consistent. In our upcoming opponent, the Vikings, I mean, they just made Josh Dobbs third string because he wasn't being consistent enough. So he had the Dobbs era of a couple good games and then fall off. So, I mean, it's just about staying consistent.
I think we're just finding a really also good balance in the offense. Mixon with 21 carries for 79 yards and then Chase Brown with 8 for 25, so 29 total carries. With Burrow, we never really saw that. It was always him at least usually 32 plus pass attempts.
And a weird thing, like Chase Brown being our leading receiver,
That
3 receptions, 80 yards.
Yeah.
He did have, how long was it, 54 yards?
yeah,
That touchdown was crazy.
Electric.
Yeah.
that was
The
electric.
stadium was
The lid went off.
insane on that one.
That kind of reminded me of the P. Ryan screen against the Chiefs. Obviously
Yeah.
two different kind of his speed was crazy, so it's two different types. But just seeing it, it's oh crap, he's gonna go all the way. 'Cause you don't get the full view. So
we knew once he hit the 40-yard line, there was way more blockers than there were defenders chasing after him. So we automatically.
yeah, because the TV view we can't really tell. It could just the zoom in, so
and
it's
we
all
didn't
right,
know.
we don't know how
and
far he's
Volson
gonna
was
get.
cooking.
Volson got
He
down
got
there.
to,
Like,
17 miles an hour?
I wish he had the ball.
And Chase Brown recorded the second fastest
Time
speed rating for
this
this
season
year.
so far. Yeah,
It's
up there with
22
all the
miles per
Dolphins
hour.
players and a couple of I think Jamar's
A.J.
got one
Brown
up there
was
too.
number 1.
Oh, is he?
DK Metcalf, yeah.
My
Yeah,
bad.
22
Oh yeah,
mile an hour.
and then the rest is Dolphins. A lot
Yeah,
it's
it's all
Dolphins.
Dolphins, Tyreek, and
A Chain, Mostert I think has one.
My biggest thing about Browning is too. I mean, I say only, but 18 completions. I think he 8 different targets. I mean that alone is crazy.
He also averaged 11.5 yards per completion.
Yeah, first down every.
Yeah.
Which is, I love to see it. You're not seeing him throw 4 or 5 yards as an average. He's
Man was just poised.
Yeah.
He seems really poised.
He
and
has something about him.
I feel that Colts defense isn't bad.
Oh no,
Or it
their
hasn't
front
been.
four is really
Yeah.
what keeps them alive in games.
And they had
Our
Grover
offensive
Stewart
line
back.
has really come
They
together.
are a unit now.
Like,
They
Yeah,
are-
we allowed no sacks.
It took so long for them to mesh, and now that they're meshing, Jonah Williams is priority number 1
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
free
Well,
agency.
they're delivering the hit now. I feel like a lot
Yeah.
of times they were kind of taking the hits, but now that we got that run game going, we run a lot more play action with Browning. It seems like too.
Successful play action because we're running the ball efficiently.
And I just think in general, that's going to lead to more success because when we're running the ball, it kind of takes the load off him, and then when we can do play action, the screen game opens up.
I mean, if you look at
Yes.
Chase Brown and Joe Mixon, Chase Brown averaged 26.7 yards per catch, and Joe Mixon averaged 15.3 yards per catch
That's
as
huge.
running backs.
It's huge.
And then Mixon's averaging almost 4 yards per carry, and Chase Brown averaging a little over 3 yards per carry. That's nothing to snuff about. I mean, that's 2 solid backs right there. And Chase Brown, we're seeing him before our eyes just come he's electric.
He's earning those reps.
That Jacksonville game, he really showed off what he can be. And 8 carries, I think, is a little low, in my opinion, for Chase Brown. Maybe they wanted to give it the more Mixon because their front seven's a lot heavier than Jacksonville's, front seven. So maybe that's what it was.
Yeah, could have been.
And then Higgins, he had two receptions for 72 yards. He had that deep bomb down the sideline, which Browning, that would have been a touchdown if it was a good ball. But Higgins made an impressive, trying to find a word. Adjustment. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Adjustment to get the ball over the shoulder on his left side.
I mean, he would have got a tutty too from the boy AJ McCarron.
Yeah.
It
think
was a light push off. I mean, it's one of those
He was a bigger receiver dominating a little
it's one
corner.
of those that was definitely you could call it, but usually probably wouldn't see it called.
Yeah.
He pushed off a little, but
yeah.
you look for full arm extension. And
Which he didn't have.
no, he kind of just.
He did, but and the sucks thing too is he really didn't need to, but he was just a bigger player there.
I got to give it to AJ McCarron on that throw, too. That
It
throw was
a dodge.
perfect.
It was a dodge.
That's why I feel confident, unfortunately, if something does happen to Jake Browning, I'm confident in the XFL MVP to, put some throws together.
Well, McCarron is a proven NFL backup too. He's played in the NFL and won some games before the Bengals too.
Yeah, he's
In a similar-esque style in that run.
Yeah.
But
you got to give it to this defense, though, for that game, honestly. They were flying. Gardner Minshew was, wasn't easy for him in the pocket. Trey Hendrickson
2
was-
sacks.
was doing a lot. He forced that interception.
Man
for
better be a
BJ
Pro
Hill.
Bowler again.
He was Pro Bowler last year with 8
Yeah.
sacks, and he's already at 13
13 and a half. Yeah.
yeah, he's third in the league,
Fourth.
fourth.
Yeah. Khalil Mack, T.J. Watt, Daniil Hunter, and then him, Josh Allen, and
I know Myles Garrett has 13.
another player. 3 players
Is
have
it Max Crosby?
Might be Max Crosby. 3 players have 13 and a half sacks.
and all of them have more sacks than the New Orleans Saints as a team.
Shout out them for letting us snag Trey.
all right. Got to thankful for that.
And our run defense was excellent. I mean, they only handed the ball off 13 times for 28 yards for Zach Moss.
Which a lot of people thought Zach Moss was going to have a great day on our defense. So
He had a few runs early where it was a little bit more than 5 yards, 6 yards per carry. And me and Eric were thinking during the game, wow, they could probably just continue running and kind of just
They
drive down the field. They just stopped running.
And like you were saying in the beginning, that's where I could see, like you said, you didn't really see. You saw us winning, you saw us coming in on the drive and stuff. You saw us winning. That was the only path I saw us losing, was if they got their run game going and their
Yep.
defense played well, which
What helps us too is
neither happened. So
it seemed like they were. I don't know if our defense was playing that well, but their offense wasn't clicking at all.
no.
To me, I know we had a couple of big pass breakups and coverage was a little sticky and pass rush was there. But to me, watching the Colts, they did not look like a fundamental sound team.
They had special teams mishaps.
Yeah,
Muff
they
punt,
just didn't look prepared.
no.
Yeah.
I mean, the Colts are a very good team too. They're in the playoff race with us, and they're ahead of
I
us
think
in
they are
the
the
in the
7th seed right now.
yeah. I mean, in Gardner Minshew, he's a good quarterback, quality
Rooting for
backup.
them this week.
Yeah. So, really, I don't want to down on the Colts too much,
No,
but
I think
they
the-
just looked a little unprepared
I
on
think the
It
offense.
was just a
defense
bad
came to
game.
play.
Yeah, it was just a bad game for him. I think
A lot of blue in the stands too, which you can kind of expect being that
Close.
Indianapolis is
hour and a half away.
hour and a half,
People
and
from our area.
They're
Or,
probably also
one of our
Colts fan.
coworkers, he's a big Colts fan. And he lives in our area, so he went to the game. And I imagine there's Colts fans that live over in Ohio and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
a lot of blue there, which you can't be too mad at with a
yeah. I mean, I loved watching the defense this week, especially. It just seemed like, I don't know the numbers, obviously, but it just seemed like we weren't missing as many tackles. We were one-man tackling.
Jordan Battle had his first missed tackle in the NFL this week. His first and only, I think, of the season probably.
Still love you, Jordan.
Yeah, Jordan Battle's a dog.
Pratt had a guy in the backfield. They still ended up making a
Yeah,
play.
he
but
made the initial hit, which
Yeah,
let
Pratt
other guys
stops
get
him.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Pratt had half the sack too. I mean,
yeah. I mean, I think him and Logan had double-digit tackles.
they both had 10.
10, yeah.
Yeah, the other half sack was Sample.
One person I do want to shout out on the mostly for the special teams play is DJ Ivy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to see
He
a lot of
came in- he
decent.
came
Yeah,
in-
a decent amount.
And he looked good.
Yeah, we were watching the game. I told Jordan, I'm gonna watch DJ Ivy out here. I got to see what he does and I watched him. He
Man's gonna be.
the
I mean,
ball-
he already kind of was a steal. He was like a 7th round, like our last round pick,
He's a
wasn't he?
tall and lengthy corner, kind of the build you want for a
Mhm.
man-to-man guy.
Yeah,
yeah,
Long arms.
Yeah, I watched him. He didn't get burnt. He stayed with his guy. No penalties. So, plus on special teams, he got that fumble recovery. I think he had a really good day.
He kind of pushed the just a little bit of a push to
Yeah.
not cause a penalty.
Kind of a bang-bang.
Yeah.
It's like a gray area.
Yeah,
Just tell him to get off of him.
definitely a great play by him. That's good special teams work. I mean, speaking of special teams, McPherson looked good.
I think he's back. I think
Yeah.
all the head monsters are honest. I mean,
Also-
knock on wood. But
Also, speaking of special teams, Brad Robbins.
I was going to bring him up.
worst punter.
Oh.
any.
do we have to?
Stats wise,
According to the EPA,
That's what I was
he
about
is
to say,
the
like,
worst
stats-wise.
punter in the league.
Now, that one 19-yard punt he had before the end of the half, that really meant nothing. They let it roll. They let the clock just wind down.
Why did they do that, though? Is my question.
I mean, it still would have worked out. They just touched it, downed them,
Yeah.
and they had 2 plays to do something. Which
Give
I
them
don't-
an extra 20 yards. I mean, it's one of those things that you just can't let happen.
No. We don't have our producer here to keep the motion lights on. So
Yeah, it did kills, but
it happens.
It happens. But did anybody know where Chrisman was at rank wise when we let him go?
he was also towards the very
Was he?
bottom. He might not have been the last. He was like second or third
If
to
you
last.
if you go to the games and you sit home sideline, after a punt, watch Darren Simmons with Brad Robbins. It's ugly.
It is.
Darren Simmons rips him a new asshole
really.
just about every punt.
I mean,
I would love to have him mic'd up.
be a fly on the wall.
I would love to hear it. His face gets super red. We're 30 rows up. Our season tickets are. We're 30 rows up, and we can still see.
Oh, he gets
I could probably read his lips. He is.
he gets very livid down
You think
there.
it's because that they took him in the 6th round?
Oh, 100%. Brad Robbins is. I think Darren Simmons gets so mad at him because he knows the talent Robbins has,
Yeah, Michigan, he was
And-
elite.
and sometimes you as a coach, you have to figure out how a player gets coached.
Yeah.
So I think maybe this is the way that Simmons is trying to find out, like, do I need to drill this into his head that he has to get better?
Because he has good punts in pregame.
This last week it wasn't good. From our view, they looked all right, but from people like in the end zone seats, they were tweeting out saying these were pretty bad punts. So, I mean, from our view, it was kind of tough.
Yeah.
You just gotta hope that he figures it out. I mean, when you're that good in college, I was talking to somebody the other day. It's kicking and punting, in my opinion, are the two easiest positions to translate, like from college to NFL.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because game speed really doesn't affect you as much. Like every other position, the players always say it's faster.
I would say kicking in college is a whole lot harder than kicking in the NFL.
Yeah, like
Because
a lot
the
of-
hash marks in college
Yeah.
football are, those are 20, 15, or 20 to 25, I think.
So I don't know if it's that. But kickers and punters, it's a lot mental.
Yeah.
It's way more mental for them. So I just think he just needs to get out of his own head. I mean, he's definitely got the talent. The talent's there.
And, Eric's brought up to me a couple times how which I believe we should, give him another year.
Yeah.
I don't want to push it to, let him finish out his rookie contract. People don't have time for that with a punter.
Yeah.
Punter is a pretty essential key piece to the game.
Especially when you're
As we saw in the
a
AFC Championship.
team.
Exactly. Like if he doesn't figure it out by next year, you have to cut ties. Find someone with less hang time but more boot.
Somebody's name just got cleared.
No.
No.
I can't do that.
I can't do that.
Punt god.
The punt god himself.
But,
I think he deserves a
I
second
don't
shot,
think
though.
Darren Simmons wants a guy that can just boot the ball like that.
I mean,
it's nice to have. but
Look at the best punters in the league though.
just send it out of the
They
end zone if
can,
you have to.
but they also
Yep.
get a good amount of hang time too. They can do both.
Which Robbins doesn't have the leg strength to boot it.
Yeah, his thing is hang time,
Yeah.
which I get, but at the same time, if you got to be able to drive a ball,
You need to be able to flip field.
Yeah,
Which he's only flipped the field maybe
handful of times.
4 or 5 times this whole season out of the 50, 60 punts he's had.
Yeah.
He punted 10 times week 1.
Definitely.
As of now, Brad Robbins has better stats than Kevin Huber did his rookie year.
When did they draft Kevin Huber?
Like
09.
Was he drafted?
Nine.
That's what I'm saying.
No, he was drafted.
Yeah.
He was a 5th round pick.
5th round pick.
Yeah, but
So they gave him the chance.
they gave him the chance. which he-
Look at the quality of numbers though.
Like punts. Like how many punts?
Punts. Yeah. How many?
how many he had? 86.
Who? Huber?
Huber did this year. Robbins has
probably less.
They had?
59.
Yeah, but he's still got.
He's still got a couple more.
I said
weeks.
50, 60 punts, and it
You were
was,
close.
dude, it was right there.
Oh, yeah, it was there.
That's pretty.
I just threw out a number too.
He does have we'll see at the end of the season how many.
How many punts does he have inside the 20?
14 inside the 20. Kevin had 24
Dang.
his rookie year.
So Kevin showed a little more. I mean,
Does
he's still
it
got
show,
time.
Does it
but-
show inside the 10? You're on Pro Football Reference, aren't you?
Yeah.
Does it show inside the 10? Probably not.
No.
Does it show touchbacks?
Yeah. Huber had 11.6% on his. Robbins has an 8.5.
I just looked at the math. That's Robbins has 23% of his punts are inside the 20. 23%.
It's not a good percentage. Well, depending on where he's punting from.
Yeah, he's not always punting from a good spot to put it inside the 20. He's been in enough spots where he should have put it inside the 20.
Who's an elite punter?
Townsend.
Cole.
Oh, Cole's probably the best punter this
He had
year.
an 81-yard punt against the
Cole has been
AJ
an
Cole.
elite punter
really
this
good
year.
game. Vikings,
Raiders
Raiders
punter.
punter.
That's what I thought.
You know, that 3-0 game, everyone was there watching it.
He's also a Pro Bowler too. Last year.
So was Snoop Dogg Huntley.
Yeah, but he was an alternate. I mean, Mac Jones was a Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
The Mac
NFL
Doesn't
Pro
matter.
Bowls
Oh, man, the Mac Riddle was solid.
really don't mean that much to me.
They're definitely watered down a little bit. Like the
Dude, look at it. As long as it's 83 yards, he's averaging 45.5
Why
yards
can't we
per
get a
punt.
punter?
Oh my
I had
God.
such high expectations for him too.
Punch inside the 20 was a 27.9%, so they're really close stat-wise.
You know what Cole's is? His rookie year, 49.3%, 45.5%, 43.8%, 44.1%, and 44.4%. That's elite.
That's elite.
That is elite in
I mean,
all
that's
4 years.
Half your punts are going inside.
Or all
the
5 years. He started in 2019.
That's crazy. I don't even think Robbins needs to get that high. I mean, if he's in the mid-30s, I'm happy.
Oh, 100%. Like, I'm not expecting him to be, like, crazy.
Yeah, you don't have to
Holy
be a Pro
crap.
Bowler.
Last year, he had a 1.7% touchback percentage.
Dang. That's impressive.
That's
That's like, I mean, you're literally pinning everybody.
I'm honestly amazed by just looking at his numbers.
McAfee would be happy.
He was an All-Pro in 2021.
Well, yeah. With those stats.
Well, I was just reading off last year. He wasn't an All-Pro last year. He was only a Pro Bowler last year.
He probably went. I think he went to Townsend last year.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at Pat McAfee to see where he ranked. His rookie year, he had 32.8% inside the 20, which is roughly where he sat at. Besides 2014, he was at 43.5.
That's what I'm saying.
But you look, but
30s is good.
you look at some punters and you find what they're good at. You find their niche. Robbins has been good at nothing this year. He hasn't been good with hang time.
He has a cool mustache.
He
He has
does
a
have
cool mustache.
He does.
He can't drive the ball. He can't, pin. He's just. There's been, out of his 59 punts, probably 3 that I've been like, wow, that was a great punt. It's a great punt, not good punt. Great.
It's definitely lower than 5.
I mean, we can look at
Right.
numbers, but it comes to
The eye test is huge, too.
eye test, especially for punters.
Well, and, I mean, it kind of sucks for them when I say this, but one great punt is going to be overshadowed by 5 bad punts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and vice versa. Like, you could have 5 great punts, and you have 2 really bad punts in a row. Nobody's gonna remember the 5 great ones.
Yeah, I mean,
Same with kickers. I mean,
I think as long as Robbins' stat lines stay close to Kevin Huber, there's really no complaining.
yeah.
I would like it if he just was way more consistent.
But we can do better than Kevin Huber, though.
Oh, you definitely could do better than Kevin Huber. But
I mean, looking at Kevin Huber's stats, I mean, I don't know why we were that big on him. To be honest.
I mean, he's a Cincinnati guy.
The Cincinnati
He's a good,
guy.
consistent punter.
Jordan's got
What
a
was
dog
his
on
first
him
year?
now.
2014 is a Pro Bowler. Inside the 20%, or inside the 20 percentage was 37%.
He's got a dog on him now.
Averaging 42.1% or 42.1 yards per punt.
I'll look at the net yards per punt.
That's what I'm looking at.
Man's upset.
2014,
I'm upset.
42.1 net yards per punt.
Man's like, why were we so?
Hopefully we don't have to see Robbins a lot against Minnesota. That's all.
His longest in his
Man's
career
like,
was
Huber's lucky we
72.
didn't have a podcast back then.
He would be on the dartboard.
75 was his longest.
That's a boot.
Whose?
Huber,
Yeah, what's Robbins so far?
62. Then again,
That was probably touchback.
Huber's longest was a 61-yarder. I don't know. I mean, you could always switch up how you see your punter. You could just get a guy who could just boot it far. Be like, hey, if you're going to kick it far, kick it out of bounds.
Kick it out of bounds. Yeah, like.
I mean, I don't know why more teams just don't do that. Don't give the returner a chance. Just kick it out of bounds.
Or just kick it high enough to where our guys can get down there.
That's what Brad Robbins is supposed to be good at. I mean, I give him another year, but
I think you definitely give him this season and then maybe bring in some competition.
you definitely bring in competition. But But Robbins does not allow any return yards. Yeah, some of his punts suck and they don't return them. But the ones that they do try to return, they don't get far.
Yeah, no, he has shown that he can get it up in the air.
Yeah, but this year, I say you definitely bring in an undrafted punter.
Bring Crispin back to.
You
I
could.
mean, Brad Robbins has already beat out Drew Chrisman.
Yeah, but he might be hungry.
You just bring in some competition.
I'm just
Maybe
saying
get
for
Brad
competition. I'm just
going.
saying for competition.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. To
Like,
get
just-
Brad Robbins like, oh
I mean, that
crap,
kind of
like
worked for the tight end room.
Gotta do it.
yeah. Yeah, can we talk about Irv Smith was like the 4th most and was the 4th most used tight end. Like we didn't use him. I love how we're using Sample.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously going to see the field no matter what.
Yeah, I'm
His
happy
blocking is.
I'm happy to see Sample out there. Dude can pass block.
Yeah, he's in the backfield. He's like doing a bunch of different stuff now. They're like starting to love. Obviously, they love Sample. That's why they brought him back. But
only on a 1-year deal. But I think
I remember at the beginning of the year, I was like, I don't know how I feel about that because like he was coming off the injury, and I was like, I don't know
He's
how.
literally a floating lineman. I mean, they
Yeah.
move him around wherever they want.
They definitely. I think it'll be like a 2-3 year extension. I don't know how old he is,
Probably
but
2 to 3 year.
26, 27.
but probably like a 2 or 3 year.
And then
Him, Hudson, and then maybe
Hudson's
bring
definitely
somebody
a
in.
pass catching tight end.
I'm thinking Sanders.
Or do you think- Huh?
I'm thinking Sanders out of Texas.
So what you think? It's like 3 tight ends again, like, but instead of like Wilcox, it's like Sample, Hudson, and somebody, or you think Hudson leaves or something?
I think they bring Hudson back.
I think
Maybe.
Hudson comes back, but
I
Irv
just,
Smith's gone.
well, obviously, I don't think that was even a conversation for us.
Is Wilcox on a contract here?
I don't,
Yeah.
probably.
I
I
think
think
he's
because
right.
I think a lot of
He's
them were.
probably
I think a
gone
lot of them
too.
signed like 1 years.
I think so. He's been good with his time here in Cincy.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, he's just
28
Respect from
nothing
him. I mean-
Raiders, by the way.
He was just
The Chargers fumbled again.
classic. But yeah, I mean, do you like Sanders from Texas?
I love him. I think he'd be really good in Cincinnati. Well, they need a tight end.
I
He's a
want-
tight end.
Yeah.
Man, when we passed on Mayer and them, I was like, bro, in Laporta.
I mean, Murphy's starting to show his
No, he
size.
is, but like I
No,
think
if we
Burrow
had
with like a
Laporta,
tight end,
if
like
we
one of
got
those tight
Laporta,
ends.
Oh, it would have been different if we got Laporta.
I mean, even Mike Mayer, but Laporta would have been nuts.
That's
Yeah.
wild.
I mean, it kind of sucks that old Josh Dobbs isn't playing this week, so we could dog on Colton.
He's third string.
I was really hoping he'd be playing. I really wanted it.
Yeah, I mean,
Bench 2 games in a
you
row.
gotta be happy that they're starting Nick Mullins, though. I mean, he is not very good.
No,
Alexander Madison's out too.
Yeah, he's out.
Jay
Justin
Jetta,
Jefferson's
is he for sure?
questionable.
I think they said he's playing
He's
now.
playing, but he's questionable. Like,
Future Bengal.
you think so? You
Yeah,
think so?
right. That ain't gonna happen.
We can't afford it.
We
man.
cannot afford him.
Oh, he's
If,
like,
if the Reds donate some money, we could
All right, everybody. If we start a fundraiser,
GoFundMe.
go fund.
a GoFundMe, the support Justin Jefferson's contract, we can do it.
We can.
I wish you could do that. Like that would be pretty cool.
I mean, you
It
can.
sound like
Just,
vet minimum.
they won't actually
Yeah.
use it. They'll just be like, you
Yeah,
just
right.
donated your money to nothing.
Because realistically, I mean, Jamar's going to get a $20 million deal. I mean,
Oh yeah.
it's just the way it's going to go.
Some people are getting upset because Jamar said he's better than Justin Jefferson.
My thing is,
That's as a receiver, you have to have that self
well,
confidence.
I love.
It's just their little rivalry. It's like a fun competition between
Oh,
each
I
of
mean,
them.
they're best friends.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
our number
Like,
2 is T Higgins. Like he's an elite number. He could be a number 1 other places. You take him away, Jamar's going to put up stupid numbers like that.
Jamar continues to put up great numbers, like without T. I
Yeah.
mean,
But that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like Justin Jefferson benefits a lot from
it was just
getting
like
the ball a lot more
him.
because he was really the only true number 1 option. I mean, they have KJ Osborne and they have Addison.
And they
who's
had
a
they had
rookie, but
like in the past, and they had like Thielen, but
yeah, but he was obviously miles ahead of them. Like T Higgins, I mean Jamar Chase is obviously better than T Higgins, but
Burrow actually spreads the ball.
he's still gonna get
Kirk's just gonna hit his guys. Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, he force feeds him for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I don't blame him.
No, I don't
But-
at all. I mean, Jefferson's a top.
the one thing that like worries me like with this game against the Vikings is like the Vikings blitz packages they send are pretty good. Like their defense has been like Flores has gotten that defense good this year.
Yeah, your boy Ivan Pace.
I love that guy.
Pace.
I had him
He's
in so many
balling.
Bengals mocks last year. Like I wanted to draft him,
He's
and he
balling.
went undrafted,
Yeah.
and he's
Is he
He's
actually?
probably gonna win.
he-
He's
that's what I was
rookie
about to
of the
ask.
year.
Is he actually up there? I
Yeah,
don't.
he's
I don't know
probably
the
gonna
names
win.
that are up there this year. I'm trying to.
He's probably
Jalen
gonna
Carter over Jalen Carter. I guess
yeah.
he doesn't really have the
if you
numbers.
look at the
and stuff.
body of work Ivan Pace has done as a middle linebacker, as a rookie, undrafted, yeah, 100%.
The fact that he was undrafted is wild. Like
Well, me and Eric knew he'd be good. We
I had
watched
him in the 7th round of every one of my drafts.
we watched UC
mocks.
football. We knew how good he was,
Like, yeah, he's just an athlete, man. Like,
and it's like
Blows my
I
mind.
tweeted out that I'm glad we didn't draft him because he wouldn't start for us.
no,
He wouldn't really even play.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I'm glad he went somewhere where he would, and he earned that spot too. He was like third or fourth string coming into camp, earned that number 1 spot, and that's
Well, man's got the
Kendrick's
man's
left
got
in the
motor of a
offseason,
diesel
too.
truck.
yeah.
I mean, he came in as like their main guy for like the years. Like a lot of their guys, Azarius Smith, Eric Kendricks, they both left in the offseason. So it was kind of perfect timing for him coming in an undrafted spot. Because if you're undrafted, you get to pick where you sign. Like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you get to,
Well, I mean, whoever
teams can
offers you.
pick
But I'm saying
you
like
kinda
if
get
you have
free
multiple
set. Yeah,
offers,
you get free set.
you kind of get to pick. So he obviously picked a good situation for him. Probably wanted to team up with Jay Jettis.
I wonder how many teams offered him a contract too.
You never know that really about the undrafted guys.
You don't really hear much about.
You just know who you signed. It's just like they come out in like one bulk tweet. It's like the Bengals signed this guy all undrafted.
Usually, like when you get a guy undrafted, you're not thinking like, oh, he's gonna make the roster. It's just
no
practice squad guy.
Yeah, pretty much. It's pretty much all you think about when you see undrafted. Obviously, there's outliers, but what's the percentage of?
Cam Taylor-Britt's out this week, right?
Yeah,
he's on IR.
and
So
he
he'll
can't
be
come
out
back
next-
until the
next
Chiefs
week.
game.
Oh, it's the Chiefs game.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
first game he can come back.
I wasn't 100% sure. That sucks. I would have liked to see him match up with JJ.
Back-to-back Saturday games though. How do you guys feel about that?
And
Is next week away? I'm guessing since we're home
we
this
have
week.
Vikings and then Steelers.
Are we?
Steelers away at 4:30.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
I like it because I'm off Saturdays. But I don't. I mean, it's not the same as like Sunday football.
It's kind of like a prime
But I can
time
drink,
game.
I
It's supposed to be though.
I feel like I can drink more because it's on a Saturday.
No,
Yeah, you don't have to worry about work or
But
anything like that.
it's just it is a different vibe when they play on Saturdays though.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh okay, I got Sunday night football after, and then
Like
Like
they
the
won't.
game, like the game this week, like no matter what, we have to leave early because I have a birthday party to go to at like 4 or 5 o'clock. So
Oh, you're leaving the game early,
yeah, we have to leave the game early.
hopefully they
or killing them,
hopefully
or
they
something.
play quick.
Yeah, hopefully we're up by like 20 with like 10 left in the fourth. Because
Jordan leaving a football game.
I have to. I don't have any other choice. But they wanted to make this a Saturday game.
You didn't have any other choice.
like on paper, I know. I think the Bengals should handle this game. They should definitely take care of business.
I mean, after watching,
DJ Turner
The
about
only
to
thing that doesn't
clamp
scare
down
me is
Jay
the
Jettis.
pass rush for the Vikings, but I
Mhm.
think the line has looked impeccable the last two games. Browning gets it out really really quick, and we're gonna have full strength at receiver. I mean, should be. I mean, Jamara's been kind of nursing that ankle
They say it's his heel.
but he said that he's 100% playing. So, I mean, T's gonna be another game back after his injuries, fully back. Boyd's back, obviously. So I think.
The only big injury is like Taylor Britt. Like,
I mean, it's gonna be should be full systems go on the offensive side.
We might try to find like different ways to get Jamar the ball just because he had not a bad week, but like statistically, like his numbers were down.
Yeah, he didn't get the targets really.
So I think look for Browning to kind of like look to him.
man actually goes through his reads though. I didn't really see
He looks a
in the
whole
game.
lot better this game than like the Steelers game.
Yeah,
He looked like I didn't like him the Steelers game because it looked like he was just eyeing guys down
Mm-hmm.
and then just taking too long to get rid of the ball.
I mean, yeah.
And then Jacksonville, it looked like, okay, this was a great game. Can he do it next week?
Yeah, and he did.
He did. So again,
Can he
it's
keep
just,
doing it?
can he keep doing it? And the Vikings is like a good test too because they're going to send blitz at him.
So it's what Vikings, Steelers,
That's what Flores
Chiefs,
is really known for on the
Browns.
defense side of the ball is his blitz packages. So
Some tough
4
defenses.
playoff teams.
Some tough defenses.
Are the Vikings still in the playoff picture right now? I think they've fallen out. Or
They're probably at the top if they're in the
Yeah, I'm
hunt.
pretty
It's
sure.
really tough.
yeah, they're 7-6 though. I didn't know if they were 6-7 or 7-6. So, I mean, yeah.
well, yeah, because the Lions and the Packers both lost this last week too. So
Oh yeah, they're still up for they could win the division still, which is sad. They're only like a game.
is there
or
a
two.
secured like division winner?
Yeah, the Niners.
Is that it?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. Somebody I saw it's like this is the most mid NFL's been. I wouldn't say it's.
It's just
mid,
like the most
it's just
competitive.
Like,
Yeah.
the NFC has a
I
couple
don't even want to say
juggernauts.
competitive. It's just injuries this year have been, especially the quarterback position, has kind of ruined games.
Okay, but even with the injuries, the games have been competitive. Like
Yeah.
DeVito's winning
team-
games,
like,
like
complete
Browning's
teams,
winning
it's
games.
competitive.
Like
Injuries. I mean, injuries are part of the game, but you gotta respect teams for still stepping up and winning games.
a lot of teams could have folded
A
down.
lot of
last
teams are
year.
winning with their backups right now, which kind of shows like. I mean, I hate to say this, but it's kind of going to hurt the quarterback market, in my opinion.
No, not really. And I think it was Mike Lombardi. He was talking about it. When you got backup quarterbacks like this, teams have to prep differently because they don't have tape on them. Like Browning, we have 3 games worth of tape that's still not going to conclude to what kind of player he is.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to go off of what they see with the play calls and how he reacts to some kind of formations. But like Tommy DeVito, for example. I mean, once Daniel Jones is back, he's still. I mean, he's not going to start over Daniel Jones.
Oh yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I don't think there's going to be as many 50-something $million deals for guys. Like, Daniel Jones got overpaid.
Oh, 100, I mean, that's because they were desperate.
But I'm saying, like, their teams are going to be a lot less willing to do that now, I think.
I mean, after the season, Browning could go and win a playoff game. He's not going to get a heavy contract.
Which, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, I could see this kind of shift in the market a little bit. Like, I don't know who's up for contract this year, but it would be a bad year in my opinion.
But again,
to be a
all the
quarterback on
main
contract.
quarterbacks got paid this year.
Yeah, but that was before the injuries. Like,
Well, they already got paid. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like they don't have another payday for
Right.
another 4 or 5 years.
I just don't know who's up for contract this year because it's going to be interesting to see like how, like the first quarterback signed, who sets the market always.
The next quarterback, like I'm looking at it, maybe Trevor Lawrence.
He'll probably get paid just because it's the Messiah.
Yeah, other people have.
Lost
You
to
know-
the Bengals again though.
He was just really hyped coming out. of
And then
college.
you look at this upcoming draft. You gotta think like, who's taking a quarterback? Giants are probably drafting a quarterback. You'd have to think.
I don't know. They signed him to
Patriots.
5 years.
Patriots.
Patriots 100% getting a quarterback. Bears.
I could see the Steelers.
That's another team that people need to keep an eye out on for quarterback.
They almost bench pick it. I remember at
Yeah.
I would say obviously the Raiders.
And there's some teams that might just take.
Probably the Vikings.
And there's
Yeah.
teams that are probably just going to
Because
wait
Kirk's
another
a free
year.
agent. Kirk's a free agent. That's who.
Easily.
And then the whole NFC South.
I think Kirk goes to Atlanta. I don't know why
Well,
I
not
think Kirk's
young.
going
I
to go
mean,
to
not
Atlanta.
much
No,
young.
but it's just
He could.
Did you put Kirk on that team in Atlanta?
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
if he
we
goes to
should
Atlanta,
do
that defense is good.
he's in.
They just don't have a quarterback.
Atlanta gets Jaden Daniels.
You think so?
You think so?
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
He'd
I
be
wish
a-
that's
he'd-
where
he'd be
Deshaun-
a- he'd be a fun piece in their
I
offense.
wish that's where Deshaun would have went.
Seahawks. if he's available in the Seahawks pick, he's going there.
Staying in Washington.
Yeah, you got to think. Geno has not looked like what he looked like last year.
Not-
They paid him.
He finally wrote back. No, I like and just whenever you talk that much stick,
I mean, you got to think like Deshaun Watson just got paid. I wouldn't be surprised if the Browns went and got a quarterback not this year, but next year.
the only thing that kills them is it's all guaranteed.
Yeah, like that. I think they're right now. I think they're looking at it.
They got to give him another year.
Like I guess if I was in that situation, which I never would be, because I'd never guarantee a contract to a offender like that. But I would be thinking, oh, well, maybe he will return.
Oh yeah, you have.
You'd have to have
think
confidence
that.
in a guy, but at the same time, from an outside perspective, you just overpaid for a guy who's not willing to even stand on the sidelines. Which Browns fans are like, well, he was told not to. I don't believe that, but
Yeah, yeah.
you look at you look at every team with an injured quarterback. Their quarterbacks are on the sideline or in the offense. Even Kenny Pickett was in the offensive booth
Mm-hmm.
with their offensive coordinator. Kenny Pickett.
Nick Chubb was on the sideline, bro. Man towards ACL and like a bunch of other stuff. So
Man was in a luxury
we
suite.
with this girl,
Yeah.
just chilling. But we're losing. Nah,
Yeah,
they
that
were winning, I
sucks.
think. But
I mean, look at that, babe.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco.
look how much.
Flacco's
Yeah,
him.
Look at Flacco, man. He's throwing them good spirals.
Sweet babe.
man's probably covering his
We
face.
paid. we
Well,
paid.
Flacco's doing what it seemed like Deshaun couldn't do. was
I bet
not
you.
turn the
I would
ball
bet
over and
amount of
make
money that
defense
Deshaun
win.
didn't even go to the locker room after that game.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Why would he? I mean, he's already paid.
Babe, let's go get
Player not.
lobster.
Let's go get some food.
We in LA. Let's go get some, good food. But that's just how it is.
Nothing. Raiders are
And the
beating
Lions,
Chargers.
I'd see them getting. Well, no, not really, because I got Hendon Hooker. I don't know how much they really trust him, but
Brandon
Goff had.
Bolden,
I mean,
bro.
They lose. I hate to say it, but they are definitely. He hurts them a lot.
Goff has been hurting them these last couple of weeks.
They basically lose.
I don't know if it's an offensive thing or if it's like a golf thing.
A couple of them picks are definitely Goff. I mean, I don't know the schemes and stuff, but I mean,
His reads seem
there are
off.
some bad plays.
Jared Goff be a great journeyman quarterback.
He's a smart guy. He's talented. It's
But
just
he
great
makes
journeyman.
Atta
great plays.
cow.
It's just like you said, the consistency aspect of it.
yeah.
That's spoiler, but that's gonna be my game of the week.
What it?
That Lions Broncos game.
And he's got
Broncos
some
are only a
players.
game back behind the Chiefs for the division, bro.
I just now looked at the Chargers and Raiders score.
Yeah,
35.
35 nothing in the
Brandon
second
Brandon
quarter.
Bolden just got like a 30-yard touchdown run.
Is
Brandon
it the first you're hearing about it? Because
Yeah,
your
first I'm
face
hearing
is.
about it,
Yeah. I just
What?
scrolled down. 35 nothing.
Nothing.
2 minutes or almost 4 minutes left in the
That's
second quarter.
Yep.
It shows one of two things. Either this team is very reliant
On Justin
on
Herbert.
Justin Herbert.
Holy crap. Justin Herbert should be the highest paid quarterback in the league.
Yeah, they're
Looking at
They're gonna play
this,
like
It's
this,
definitely helping
yeah.
his stock.
Not Brandon Staley though.
he should win
he's
MVP.
gone. We talked about it before we started recording. Brandon Staley.
He's gonna
possibly
be
being
gone
fired.
after this game.
This game fired him. I want to see a tweet after.
That
this
was
game
just
thinking,
different.
He might be
this
fired
year,
at halftime.
It's because they
35
just
to
killed
nothing
teams like by 4.
To the
Raiders.
Raiders. Aiden O'Connell.
The Raiders.
Plus 175.
Yeah, I like
What's
them.
ours?
I like them though.
Negative.
This,
I like the Raiders.
this has stunned me for the whole podcast now.
There.
I mean, this is Justin Herbert for MVP. He's my MVP player now.
I've never seen a team burn this bad after their starting quarterback is ruled out.
No.
Well,
Raiders.
they also don't have Keenan Allen, so
To Aiden O'Connell.
Oh, Keenan Allen would have put up 3 points.
Oh, but Staley's a defensive coordinator, defensive guy.
A defensive
Like,
guy with one
Like
of the
everybody's
worst
like,
defenses
how
in the
was he
league.
a
I'm gonna
defensive?
continue to call the plays. Just stop asking.
So stop
That
asking.
when Colton showed me that, I said, "That's how you know he should be fired." Right
Yeah.
there.
This guy's gonna. Break
I was like, if
out.
I'm the owner, I'm firing him.
Yeah, if I see my head coach,
I would be
at
sending
a
him
press
to d-
conference like, I'm gonna, it's me.
I'd be sending him to do a Jeff Fisher friggin' leaving interview.
I can't wait. To see
I
him.
just got fired.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see him walk
I
up
was
to the
just fired.
mics, sits down, and he's announcing.
That's still I think like the number one moment on Hard Knocks
It is.
is him walking out. Hey guys, I'm no longer gonna be your coach. Jared, they immediately pan to Jared Goff.
Yep.
Because I know for a fact Jeff Fisher ruined Jared Goff's projection of a good quarterback.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the people sit in front of him, and he has to talk about this game. Oh, you're down 35-0 at half.
To Aiden O'Connell.
Yeah, are you gonna still continue to call the plays? It's not looking good. You just lost to Aiden O'Connell.
Game's not over.
If they come back,
Remember for Noah's bachelor party last year?
Yeah, the Colts, Vikings.
We were at Fishbowl in Cincinnati. Shout out the Fishbowl. We were watching.
Still got those
I
gift
was
cards.
making jokes. I was making pure jokes that the Colts were going to come back or the Vikings were going to come back. Strictly jokes. Not once did I ever believe that they would come back. And then we were on our way to Top Golf, and I'm like, dude, this game's getting close. And then we're at Top Golf watching it. I'm like, this is.
Good times. Those were fun times.
That's still insane, though. I mean, how do you?
I kept on yelling at Blaine. I said, "There's always another half."
What was it? 31-0 or something? 33-0.
I think it was 33 nothing at
3-0.
half.
well, it's probably the greatest comeback we've ever seen.
Hey, the quarter's not over yet. I mean, they could. Who's got ball?
Probably the Chargers.
So at that point, if you're the Raiders, do you put your fourth string in?
They said your fourth string. They
Aiden
I know
O'Connell was
before.
11 for
you were
19,
talking about
163 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Man's
Hopefully
balling.
one's to Devontae.
It is.
This is the year of the backup
I
quarterback.
believe.
Bailey Zappi with Patriots last week.
We talked about that.
It really is.
The backup.
Easton Stick, come on! This is your time to shine.
There
No.
was ever
But-
a time.
You look at this: Austin Eckler, 4 carry or that's
Oh no,
James.
Da doesn't have one. Sorry, he has 4 for 64.
Player stats.
He has
Austin Eckler, 2 carries
Trey
for 7
Tucker
yards.
has one. Michael Mayer has
Why
one.
does he have 2 carries?
They hate running the ball.
Austin
He has
Eckler's
what?
just not that good of a running back.
No.
Pure running back.
Oh,
Jacoby has
Receiving
one.
back?
He has
Yeah,
one
he-
catch for 22
He
yards.
lost like a
It was a
lot of
touchdown.
speed.
Who, Eckler?
Eckler, yeah, he ain't looking.
He doesn't have the second gear anymore.
Also, like
That
the
breakaway guy, just doesn't have it.
yeah it's competition between him and Kelly, or whatever they
Well,
say.
he's the pass catching back. I mean, he can make plays in the.
It's just
That's
becoming.
the game,
It's just becoming a 2 RB league.
But dang, man.
All right, let's get into last week. So I kind of want to get into something with Patrick Mahomes.
The upset spaghettis.
Is
I'm-
Travis Kelce going to retire?
I mean,
Yes.
you had the Bears beat
Yeah,
the
he's
Lions.
gone.
I'll say
You
I'll
guys
say-
did say that
I'll say
last
Travis
week or
Kelce
2 weeks
retires.
ago, or whenever.
That's not. I mean, his production has slightly declined,
I saw a thing on Twitter.
but
It
it's
was
just.
like
I think it's just
another
football's taking a toll on him.
another
He's
NFL
hurt
big thing.
all the time. He's sore.
He's probably not healing as
I mean,
quick.
tight
I mean,
end's a hard
obviously.
position, man. You're getting everybody's hard.
You're blocking and you're getting
Well,
hit.
you're
Like,
getting-
And,
Everybody's hard
and
as
you got to
shit.
figure he's already a Hall of Famer. He's already probably the greatest tight end of all time. What's their
Gronk enters the conversation, buddy. Gronk is the GOAT.
I
said
think
Gronk.
Gronk's better too.
Said probably the greatest of all time.
So it's what, 2
Yeah,
Gronk
Gronk.
and 2 Kelseys? Or are you a Gronk guy?
I love Gronk.
You're more Gronk
I
over
would
Kelsey.
say, yeah.
I think they're-
Gronk's the GOAT.
I think they're the top 2, and then it's Shannon. But
Oh, they're definitely top 2.
You don't think Gonzalez is up there?
Yeah, you don't have Tony Gonzalez.
Tony
Tony's my 3.
I mean,
Tony
I
would be
totally
my
forgot
three.
about Tony.
I think it's Gronk, Kelsey, Tony.
Sorry.
Tony just played forever.
I'd
I
have
totally
Shannon.
forgot about
I mean,
Tony.
Tony just played forever.
I have Unk.
Which
I'll
is-
put Unk up there.
Yeah, 4.
Yeah.
And then Gates is my 5.
Yeah, I mean, his prime was prime, and then he stayed. I think he's one of those guys who stayed
Stayed a
a
little too long. For
little
sure.
too long.
Yeah.
Which I don't want to see that happen to Kelsey.
I don't think he will. I think he can be a media, like not media, but a personal. What am I trying to say? Personality outside of football.
Yeah.
He's just got that. Like him and his brother are probably their podcast is probably gonna go.
I think they're both going to retire this year. Both
Probably
Kelce-
retire
both
together.
Kelce's. Kelsey, Jason already said if they won the Super Bowl, he would have retired last year.
They're not winning it, so.
They're
Oh, if they would have won
I don't
last
think they're
year,
going to win it this year.
Yeah, he wanted.
That's why he had that documentary
Yeah.
made. It was like a year of like.
But Donna's going to have to miss out on a lot of games now. So, Mama Kelsey, I love watching their podcast.
It's awesome.
Just the bond they have.
The serial rankings.
Yeah, but going into the Chiefs and Bills game, talking about Patrick Mahomes and his little outburst. That's not something you don't see from Mahomes. Was funny to see.
It was weird. It was hilarious, but it was weird to see him snap like that because you could tell it was like a boiling point of all the drops, all the stuff this season.
Like first reaction, it's like, oh, is he yelling at Kadarius Toney for being?
Yeah, no, I couldn't
offsides?
tell who he was yelling at.
Yeah, 'cause it was
Which
zoomed
he
in.
should have been yelling at
why-
Kadarius
The only
Toney.
person you yell at there is Kadarius.
100%. And he's like, I hate in the post game.
No, but
he's
he
like,
checked with them, bro.
Huh?
They said he checked.
But then they watched it. He did.
He didn't check.
No, I know that's what they said. Like they were back and they were like, "Kadarius checked." Like they
But
talked.
but Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco talked about it. They were in. He was the closest receiver to the center.
Yeah,
So your likelihood of checking's slim just
Mhm.
because you're not the outside guy.
yeah.
And he said, "You're the closest to the ball.
Ball.
You should
You
have
should seen
seen
the
where
ball."
you were."
Well, that and like apparently in the game there's like 5 other times he lined up offsides.
Yeah,
I mean, he should have saw where he was at, considering when.
and I hate Patrick Mahomes' post game interview. He said you can't call that flag in that moment.
Why?
They threw the flag before anything happened.
Yeah, it was.
As soon as they,
I thought it was holding.
It
as
ruined
soon as
Kelsey's Hall of Fame career.
If you watch the video, as soon as he snaps the ball, flag comes out immediately. So no matter the result of that play, it was going to get called. That's my biggest issue with it. Like you can't say all because of what happened after the flag.
It ruined Kelsey's career.
What I was going to
That play never got to happen.
What I was going to say was their O line is like that. On that play, like he was lined up with the center. He could clearly see the center.
Did you I think it was Joe Goodberry posted that Creed Humphrey holds it like the watermelon style
Yeah.
snap.
Yeah.
To where you lose almost like a third of an inch or whatever.
Well, you lose half the ball.
half the ball, yeah. So
You lose half the ball.
it's like whenever you're lined up on the 25, you
And,
really line
and
up on the 24 and a half.
somebody brought that up how probably it isn't Kadarius Toney's fault and how Creed could have had the ball set
and then moved it back.
and then
when he-
moved it after Kadarius already lined up, which is a possibility. I haven't seen the full sideline view of it, but
But then he posted a bunch of pictures of the way he holds the ball, and then like the blue line, which obviously
the blue line is not accurate,
No.
guys. let's get this
no,
front and clear right now. People need to stop going off that blue line.
No, but you can see the ball marker,
Yeah,
and then you can see where he has the ball, and there is a gap. Like,
yeah, and I hate when people use that blue line because that's an estimate, and that blue line's
it's
probably
just for
also
TV.
like
It's just
yeah.
for TV.
And people are like, well, look at it. And yeah, even with the blue line, he's over the blue line. And
Yeah.
that's still, like, favorable towards the offense.
And it's just he was such a sore loser about it, man. Saying it to Josh, he's like, "That was such a shitty call," or whatever he said to Josh.
I mean, I'm glad
Worst call he's
I'm
ever
glad
seen.
he apologized to Josh for that because that was kind of a, douchey thing to do.
Well, yeah, wasn't that Josh's first time beating him?
No,
No.
Josh is 3-2 against him, I think, or he has 3 wins against him.
Oh.
It's like him, Brady, and Burrow are the only quarterbacks with 3 wins on him.
Oh.
I don't know the stats on it, but it's funny like seeing Josh's reaction to that. He's like he didn't. He's like, okay.
He just pats him on the chest.
Yeah. He's like, okay, buddy.
He's like, thanks.
I wonder what his reaction was like walking like in his head. What was he thinking like?
Yeah, like walking away.
Like, what?
What a crybaby.
I doubt he said that because
No.
they're friends. So
Why don't they all say they're friends?
no, but they like legitimately are. Like I wouldn't say Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow are friends, but like I know, like I've heard like Allen and Mahomes are close and stuff like that. Or they text each other a lot. Makes them best friends.
I didn't talk much after this.
No, but my thing is like
3-1.
Andy Reid, how Andy
Or
Reid went
maybe.
off post game. He was just sticking up for his quarterback, which is fine
Mm-hmm.
because that's what you.
I heard the NFL was like looking into that.
Yeah,
Like, they're not supposed to
gonna
be
get
like,
fined.
complaining about the
100% they're
refs
gonna
or
get
something,
fined
or like
because you can't do it.
yeah.
But like my thought is like if Joe Burrow did that first day, which I don't think he would, but if he did, I believe
He would like
Zach,
slam his helmet, but he wouldn't.
I
Like,
believe Zach Taylor would be like, oh, maybe it was a bad call. You know what I mean? He's 100% going to take up for your own guy.
Yeah.
And like Shannon Sharp brought it up on his podcast how Patrick Mahomes in the locker room needs to get on their asses, like the receivers. They have the most drops in the NFL.
He probably does.
Kadarius Toney's been offsides, I think.
8% drop rate.
I think Kadarius Toney's been offsides 3 times this year where it's been called. And, or he brought up, someone else brought up how Travis Kelce needs to get on their asses.
Really?
Yeah, how Travis Kelce needs to go up to those receivers and say, hey.
The receivers are just not good.
No, they're really not.
They're just like
you watch Mahomes. I mean, it's to the point
like
where I
Tony,
feel bad for Mahomes.
Yeah, like the only one that's been
He's out there
competent
playing
has
his
been
heart
Rashee
out,
Rice and Kelsey. Those are the only two, like in Pacheco, but he was out. Like the only 2 competent receivers, like I guess tight end, he's a tight end, but Kelsey and Rashee Rice. So I don't really know.
If this was Joe Burrow and we were going through these drops,
I would suck.
I would be on those receivers'
yeah,
asses.
I'd be pissed.
Like, because like they're straight to their hands.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And I think that's what's going to cost.
that's what people thought Jamar was gonna be.
I think that's what's going to cost the Chiefs games this late in the year and in the playoffs.
They're still having this problem.
Yeah,
like
they-
everybody was
they-
like, "Oh, the Chiefs will have that problem fixed by mid-season, like towards the end
It's
of the
yet
year."
to even come close to being fixed.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
I don't see them winning. I
dude,
don't even know if I see
dude.
them winning a playoff game.
Broncos are only a game back behind them in the division.
And
They
the
beat
Broncos
them,
are on a heater,
and they
too.
beat them.
Yeah.
I don't know if they played twice, but they already beat them once, like the last 2 weeks ago or whatever it
I
was,
think
3
the
weeks
Chiefs still
ago.
have to play the Broncos again, if I'm not mistaken.
Like, and the Broncos play the Lions, who the Lions haven't been playing very good
No, they
football.
don't play
So
again.
Okay.
Ooh,
Who
Broncos-
won
Oh,
the
never
fir-
mind. Yeah,
Dude,
the
I'm not gonna-
Broncos.
Broncos have the Lions this week, but then they play Patriots, Chargers.
beat up
Raiders.
Chargers now, and then because before it was
Yeah,
like
the Broncos can win that division.
yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, Chiefs' schedule is also 4 straight backups. It's against Browning and us too, but it's
Bailey
like
Zappi, Browning.
yeah, it's I think they play Chargers too. Easton Stick and somebody else.
Dang, I was hoping they played. Dang.
Is that the Chiefs? Yeah,
Chiefs
and they
play
play Raiders.
Raiders.
It's
So
like the
they
same
have
kind of same schedule.
They
Just
Chiefs play us, and then the Broncos play the Lions.
so hopefully, man,
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes plays all backups for the rest of the year.
I hope Browning just goes off against the Chiefs.
And probably the closest game for them is going to be us.
Yeah, that's. Hopefully the Broncos take care of the Lions this week. Actually, no.
No, we're rooting for the Lions.
I need the Lions
For us to get in the
wild
playoffs.
card. But it'd be cool to see like all this.
I kind of want to root for Russ. I know. I want the Chiefs to lose that division though. So that'd be so funny.
Just to hear if they make the playoffs, just to hear the Russes "Let's Ride,"
Yeah, he'd be
Mr. Unlimited.
he'd be going crazy. You had Flacco go off this week. Flacco looked good
Flacco did look good.
against the Jaguars, who
Dude.
played Trevor. So
Then
glad
again,
to see he
Jaguars
wasn't
didn't look
hurt.
good that game at all.
Yeah, but glad to see Trevor's not like wasn't hurt badly. He might still be playing with injury, obviously, but
What's your guys' takes on the Eagles right now?
they're not. I think
Should
it's
they
gonna.
bench-
I think it's gonna be Cowboys or
Should
Niners
they
in the
bench
Super Bowl.
Jalen Hurts?
What?
He has a shoulder injury.
No.
I mean, if he's actually hurt, yeah, because I mean you're
They scored 13 points last game.
probably gonna clinch a playoff spot regardless. I mean you have 10 wins.
That's what David Carr was talking about. He's like, you're 100% going to make the playoffs. Why not just bench your guy
Like-
for a week or two so he can
No,
get his shoulder?
And they're
back?
back. It's not like they can't win with Mariota either. They're back up
No,
to
their
Mariota.
defense is like.
I would definitely think about
42-0,
that's a good
bro.
point.
I mean, I know
Just so
they're
y'all
in the
know.
division race, but
You don't care. I mean,
you got to think
Yeah.
like playoffs right now.
I guess what they're saying is probably okay. We don't want to go to because it's either going to be going to Dallas or to the Niners is your biggest two games that you're going to be thinking about.
Doesn't matter who plays the Niners. I think they're right now. They're my Super Bowl favorites.
Yeah, but I mean, if they have to go to Dallas, it's a tougher game.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, when they beat Dallas, was it in? No, it was in San Francisco
Raiders got another touchdown.
Yeah, it's 42-0.
at half.
Nah,
31 seconds.
Yeah.
70-20, looking real.
Aiden O'Connell with 4 touchdowns before halftime.
that's wild.
The Aiden O'Connell game.
I hope he threw
Who
one to
throws to DA?
Jacoby. He didn't. I need 3 more yards from Jacoby
Was
Myers.
it to DA?
Hopefully he's not hurt. No. It was the Trey Tucker again.
Man, should have put some
Whoever-
money on the underdogs on Monday night.
Whoever Trey Tucker is.
Tommy DeVito. Tommy Cutlets. The man gets it done again.
Tommy.
You think they ever paid Danny Dimes or?
I said it when they paid Danny Dimes. It was an overpay. I would never pay Danny. I wouldn't have re-signed him at all.
No, it was a crazy contract.
Yeah,
I don't,
5 year.
I don't know why you would want to pay money to him.
He's just.
He's not
I didn't think he
good.
was gonna get paid, and then it's like he
Dude,
came
yeah,
out.
I
It was like
know.
5-year. What was it? 100 mil or
It was
80 mil? It
We
wasn't
talked
100.
about it earlier this year,
Yeah.
but it was way too much money.
Will Levis looked good.
Rams couldn't pull out
He
the
had to come
win.
back.
Man, freaking truck Jalen Ramsey.
Again, the Dolphins are nothing without Tyreek Hill.
MVP.
He was still playing.
Yeah, but when he got hurt, you could definitely tell that.
Yeah.
Their offense just fell
stopped.
apart.
Yeah, they stopped.
Like,
Team,
They couldn't move the ball. They couldn't do anything. It was ugly.
Bears got that win.
huh?
I said Bears beat the Lions.
Hey, Justin Fields is
Fields.
upping up his trade stock. That's all he's doing.
He's gonna be a Steeler. Justin Fields, you are a Steeler.
Oh,
I saw something about that on Twitter, and I'm like, ooh, no.
Because like they're not gonna have a great enough.
We're not
good
good
enough
against
pick.
like running quarterbacks.
Yeah, no.
He would thrive in Pittsburgh too.
You think so?
Yeah, missing throws and
Well,
It's
he'd
the
have,
Pittsburgh
he'd have
way.
he'd have a good coach.
yeah. And if you're the Bears organization, you have to move on from this coaching staff.
Yeah, fire everyone.
And that's only just because Eberflus is a defensive guy. So I mean, get rid of him, bring in an offensive guy. He can get Caleb Williams.
Yeah, well, he can get whoever he wants.
It's going to be Caleb Williams. I mean, they're going to have their, you know.
Cole does not believe so.
I don't think Caleb Williams is first. I think Drake May's taking before him. It's a hot
Do
take.
we want a live bet right here, fellas?
What? No.
This is why Colton shouldn't talk college football.
Jordan's got Caleb Williams. You have the field.
I got the field. What? Like any other player?
Yeah.
What? Are we
Just
actually
watch the
doing
tape.
that?
There's no better quarterback in this draft class.
The throws that Caleb can make, and the plays that he can extend. I mean, USC was.
Don't. I would say take this year.
His most recent footage. Take that out, huh?
No. Not his footage. His win-loss with a grain of salt this year, considering
This was horrible.
he had to put up 50 points to win a game this year.
Felt like us, and like if you sign like an NCAA game, and it's like
I'm saying, like, look at the Notre Dame tape. Probably his worst game. His tape still isn't that bad. And then
he had to play hero ball.
that's the entire year he had to be Superman. He did good with concepts, but Lincoln Riley, I think, builds horrible offensive schemes.
He's really good at pumping quarterbacks out, though.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
I
his
think
thing.
yeah, but I mean, you look at Caleb Williams from like last year in his like first year with Oklahoma when he's came in a few times for Spencer Rattler. He's an unbelievable talent. He's probably the most talented quarterback we've seen since Mahomes, talent-wise. I'm not saying like
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not gonna say he's going to be the smartest guy or win multiple Super Bowls. I'm just saying as a pure talent guy, he's there. He's got it. It's just someone needs to be like I think he's going to need like an Eric Bieniemy or something like that to make him successful. Look at Patrick Mahomes with
scheme him
Andy
up,
Reid
scheme him up.
and Eric Bieniemy his first couple of years. I mean, he had that offensive build.
Well, and
to where-
Mahomes didn't have to start right away either.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, it's going to suck for Caleb Williams because he's going to go into a situation where he's going to have to start unless they pick up a veteran guy they want to throw in front of him.
They're going to bring Andy back.
Like, what the Panthers should have done with the poor head coaching staff they had and the poor offensive line, Andy Dalton should have started. Just for the development of Bryce Young.
But they just gave up way too much to get Bryce Young to not start him.
Yeah.
That's what it came down to.
But it's either
everything.
and their defense is underperforming a lot more than I think anyone realized they would. Because last year their defense was kind of decent.
Yeah, and
But this year their
they brought
defense,
some players in too.
yeah, this year their defense just hasn't lived up to anything.
They actually traded that to get Stroud, but
But like my belief is the most successful quarterback from this draft class.
Stroud. But he got hurt.
No, I'm saying like this upcoming.
Oh, the upcoming.
It's going to be Caleb Williams. I mean, Drake May's good, but there were games where he looked bad against Georgia Tech.
I think Jaden Daniels could be good.
I love Jaden Daniels. He's probably my third pick.
Like I think he could be.
He's my third favorite quarterback from this draft class. It's Caleb Williams, Michael Penix, and Jaden Daniels.
I think Michael Penix is very pro ready. Like
I think he's like day one starter ready.
Yeah.
Penix is. Whereas Williams, I think, needs that Mahomes development.
Like his ceiling probably isn't as high, but his floor is definitely higher.
Oh, 100%.
Like he's gonna be he'll be a solid quarterback, I think.
And especially if he goes to a team like Seattle, where you have DK Metcalf,
good coaching.
Good coaching. You have Jackson Smith-Njigba, who's kind of coming up and coming, and they could probably draft a weapon in this.
A young defense.
Yeah, and you have young tackles. Not their right tackle, but
Charles Cross.
Yeah. So I mean, Seattle could be a good team in the upcoming years.
I feel bad for whoever drafts Bo Nix.
I'm going to stick with the Raiders with that one. It just feels like a right fit.
I just don't think he's going to be. I think there's a reason he was like. Penix was in college a lot because he got hurt, and then he kind of had to like play his way back up.
Yeah.
Bo Nix was just in college forever. Like at Auburn, he wasn't very good.
And this has been Bo Nix's like only like real successful year, where over 60% of his yards came after the catch.
Yeah.
So those are numbers you also need to look into when
he has to go to kind of like a Tua like.
And the thing is, he was in a better offense.
A lot of weapons.
And Bo Nix had better weapons and a better offensive line than any of these prospects in this draft class, and he still is looked at as quarterback number 4 right now in most mocks.
Well, I think a lot of people see that he's played a lot of college football, and he just, hasn't really, except for this year, really moved the needle. He's always been good. He's always been good, but this was like the first year he was great.
Yeah. Which, I mean,
could trend up. I mean, you never know. If he goes to the Raiders, he'll have DA. He'll have Jacoby Myers, and if they bring back Josh Jacobs, they'll have him.
Mike Mayer.
Yeah, and Mike Mayer. I mean, they got weapons there. Like, it's not like he's going to, I hate to shout out Bryce Young, but Carolina, where they don't really have any speed. Kind of hurt him.
Trade away your best weapon.
Yeah.
Another thing with like Bo Nix, I mean, you watch that Washington game. Washington has a horrible defense. Like, they're not good.
Yeah.
And Bo still only put up 30 points. And like sounds like a lot, but in college football,
Well, in Pac-12 too. Like,
yeah, it's just you have to score more.
I told you guys, man. Phoenix has his number.
Oh yeah, I mean, I had Oregon money line on that, but just because I thought Oregon had the better defense.
Well, Oregon was the better. I think Oregon was probably the better team, but in the crunch, Michael Penix in the crunch is just different.
Yeah.
Dude in the last 4 minutes of a game, that's who I want having football.
Bo Nix threw a pick that was a really bad pick.
Yeah. Some guys have that killer clutch. I want the ball, and I'm not saying Bo can't be that, but I don't know. Just didn't really seem like in the biggest moments he's kind of shied away. Like
I'm still early in my quarterback rankings for this year's draft class, which I like. I love to do every year. I love to rank my quarterbacks.
See how you did, when you look back on. Do you save them?
Like last year, my number 1 quarterback, I think, was C.J. Stroud. Number 2 was Bryce Young.
That's how mine was.
Number 3, I think at number 3 I had Anthony Richardson because I was a big Anthony Richardson guy. Number 4, I think, was Will Levis.
He was fun to watch.
I did like Will Levis in Kentucky. I thought he had a lot of pro throws.
He's just fucking huge.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
He's just yoked.
And again, it comes back to the consistency thing. He is a rookie on a pretty bad team. The Titans are not good, but I think if you put a decent team around him, I think he'd be
you can
good.
win with him. I don't know if
For
he
sure.
wins you a Super Bowl, but he definitely is.
But I think-
NFL starter.
I think next year, like the draft class, I think if I am like Atlanta or the Giants or let's
You
get
look
these
at next
teams.
year.
Let's just try to look at these teams.
I mean, because you're gonna have next year, you're gonna have like Quinn Ewers
Steelers, like I would try to get a guy
Shador.
like Jane Daniels.
this year.
Yeah, in this upcoming
Yeah.
draft, I would try to get Jane Daniels.
Yeah, he's a playmaker. I mean,
He can make all NFL throws. He has the legs to do it, and you don't have to give up necessarily too much to draft. And Jane Daniels might fall late into the first. I mean,
think
you
he'll
never
be a
really know.
mid-pick, yeah, I think in a lot of mock drafts I see he goes to like 15-ish.
Yeah, but like, I just don't see a team taking Drake May first, especially when you need a guy.
You know, I need to watch more Drake May tape. I've only watched like 3 games of his, and it's when they played like the bigger schools.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks good. I mean, he did a lot with, I would say, like lesser weapons at North Carolina than some of the other guys did.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he had lesser weapons.
Which that's always kind of like impressive to me, because a lot of like the bigger school quarterbacks, they have NFL receivers. You know what I mean? Like Penix has an NFL receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Bo Nix had how many NFL receivers?
This year,
2.
Franklin's
Franklin's an NFL receiver. He'll go pro.
Troy, yeah.
Yeah.
There are other receivers. I can't think. That's what I'm trying to think of his other name.
Yeah.
He's pretty good though. I cannot think of his name.
And then Caleb Williams.
His receiving core this year was like Brennan Rice, decent. Taj Washington, I've been watching some tape of his. I think Taj Washington can be a surprise NFL player, where you can kind of get him later, and I think he'll perform. Not like later, not like 7th or 6th pick,
Yeah,
but
like 3rd, 4th.
yeah, I think he can be a really good receiver. I think he's stronger than what people think. I think like another thing is like Marshawn Lloyd. He's projected like 4th or 5th round. I think he's better than that personally. I think he's the best run blocking running back in this draft class.
Yeah, I think him and Ray Davis are going to be like the 2 slept running backs in the draft.
100%. Yeah, and Braylon Allen, I think he's one of my best pure runners. Same as like Jonathan Brooks. If he's, wherever he goes, I think he's going to be a good player.
I think a lot of players like that though with the NIL stuff. You're going to see a lot less of like the fringe players commit to the draft
Yeah.
because they can make like, even if they're making $1 million NIL.
That's the thing. Like people are talking about Marvin Harrison. Like he can make $20 million next year off of NIL. Which again, you should just go to the NFL.
Has he declared?
Yeah.
No, not yet.
He hasn't declared yet, no.
Would that be something if he came back? I saw that Riley Leonard committed to Notre Dame, so.
Yeah, he did.
Who's OSU going to get, Jordan?
I don't know. I'm not an OSU fan, so I don't really care. Ryan Day is not going to beat Michigan no matter what. So it's the one game you got to win. You can't win it.
Dude, did you see Kyle McCord signed a NIL deal with Honda?
Yeah.
Honda McCord. Dude, that is comedy. Like, way to buy into it though. I mean, you can't beat them, join them.
All right, guys, that's it for this episode. We ended on a lot of draft talk, which is a lot of fun. I love talking
Yeah, just
this
talk
upcoming
ball.
draft. All right, we'll see you guys next week. Hopefully after a win against the Vikings, got to see how we perform.
Yep. See you guys.